and your TA told me to go over UI development with you guys. That's like his last demo. He was supposed to be here today, but couldn't make it, so I'm covering for him. I'll be teaching you guys about user interface. So I'm a former student of Dr. Yoon. I was actually in last year's class, and we made this game. And while I'm going through the game with you guys, I want you to pay close attention to the user interface. So this is our title screen, and all this is a text element, and all these are is just default Unity UI assets. But we made it look good with all the transitions going in. The game itself is a multiplayer battle arena game, and I'm gonna have my friend in the back join me, and myself. Host. Okay, there you guys are now. He's in the room with me. Did you guys see the transition into this screen? Yeah, I forgot to mention that, but yeah, it transitions in. That's very important. All these small things will add up together to make a game feel like really juicy. It's like the word I like to use. When I click on these cards to select them, you can see that the cards flare up and down. And that makes the game responsive. If you click it, it doesn't do anything, then it makes the player think the game froze or something. You don't want that. So I'm going to pick 3 skills. In the game, these are memories, and the memories are like skills. You'll see in the game. I'll pick these 3, then I can start the game. The start game button doesn't appear until I have 3 skills to play. So the multiplayer battle arena, WASD to move around, left click to shoot. However, it's also a card game. What happened? What?
The screen is black.
That's okay. Okay. So here there are 3 skills you can use at a time. You draw the cards from your deck. There's only 3 cards in your deck right now, but you can destroy these crystals to add that card into the deck. To activate the skills, you just use the numbers on top of your WASD key. So if I push 1, it fires that skill in a particular direction. 3, it does the same. Some skills are buffs, like Ascension. It makes me run faster and attack faster. So you can see the bottom of the screen, all this UI right here. If it didn't have any animations or anything, and it just appeared instantly and with no transition, it'll look pretty bad. But when I use this skill, it flies away to my burned area here, and I push reload, it goes back into my deck, basically. And you can see the cooldown interface shows the user exactly when the skill is going to be back up. When I attack this crystal, the damage text animates in a smooth manner, and the bar flares a bit to show that that's the one being attacked. Now, when I kill this crystal, hello? Okay. When I kill this crystal, that thing becomes a UI element and flies into your book. So it's pretty intuitive what that means. The skill got added to your book. And then now you have 4 skills. I have 2 copies of Ascension now. And there's a bunch of skills that can be activated, etc. So there's a health bar here. You can see this thing is pulsating. I don't know if you can tell. Kind of wish I had someone to kill right now, but so that's all I really wanted to show in this demo. Just like the fluidity of the UI matters a lot, and it's all the small things that add up. So I'm going to be going to Unity right now. In an empty scene, this is a scene I just made before the presentation, and it's going to be a basic 2D preset. So whenever you start your Unity project, new project, select 2D. This is what you'll get. So how many of you have done UI development in Unity before, using like the canvas stuff? Raise your hands. Okay, so not many of you. That's good. So you can make a canvas by right-clicking in your hierarchy and make a canvas right here. It's in the UI category. And or if you create a UI element without a canvas, it'll automatically make a canvas for you. And what a canvas is, it's something that goes with the camera. So if you think about this as a camera, a canvas is like a string that goes up and hang stuff over the camera. And if your camera moves around, that screen moves around with it. So it's kind of like not world space. You can make it world space though. Hello?
Can you have multiple canvases?
Yes, you can. So the reason why someone might have multiple canvases is for optimization. Whenever one of your UI elements move or change colors in a canvas, it marks all the other UI elements in that same canvas as dirty, no matter if it did move or not. If one element moves, the whole canvas is dirty. It has to refresh the graphics for that canvas. So ideally, you want to have all your non-moving objects in one canvas called a static canvas, and then all your moving objects, color-changing objects, in a different canvas called a dynamic canvas. Okay, so we have a canvas, and the main reason why you want to have a UI element in the canvas is so you can use this rect transform. A rect transform is a kind of like transform, but instead of free position, we're using aligned position. So here's your settings right here. You can do top left anchor, middle top anchor, top right anchor, all the options here. So if I do middle, and I say make this 50 width. So position 0, 0 is based on the middle. However, if I move it to top left and then change the position to 0, 0, the position is on the top left. Now this is important for making various types of UI elements. In addition, you can also change the pivot position of your rect transform element. If I do 0, now you can see that it's based off of this point on your object now instead of the center of the object. And if I do 1, it's now based on this corner. So now 0, 0 is on the very top left corner, perfectly aligned. And when your camera moves, it'll stay there. So if you're going to do a health bar that's synced on the top left corner, this is the rect transform properties you want. Okay. I'm going to go over how to make a health bar, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are going to have health bar UI in your game. So I'm going to make a health bar with no images. I'm just going to be using the basic Unity assets, like this background image source right here. I'm going to call this the health bar frame. Change this to black. I'm going to change the background color of the camera. This is the background, solid color background. If the camera doesn't see anything, it'll mark it as blue. I'm going to change it to white. If you're making a 3D game, by default, it's going to be a skybox. For a 2D game, default, it's a solid color. Okay, so health bars are wired on this. So as you notice here, when I drag the width up, it extends to the right. That's because my pivot is at 0. If I were to have a pivot of 0.5 and extend it, then it extends in both directions. So we want that 0 pivot. That's very important because it will only extend in one direction. Now, health bars, when you take a hit, your health bar drains in one direction. That's why it's important. You don't want the health bar draining from 2 directions. Yeah. Okay, so we have this black bar up here. We're going to make a new image. It's going to be called health bar fill. And same thing. I'm not going to align it to the top left like I did with the frame. I'm going to align it middle left and set the position to 0. Now, I want it to be aligned to this edge right here, so I'm going to do 0, 5. Now this is a fill. Now, I don't want the fill to go beyond my health bar, right? So there's actually another, this is called align left and fill vertically. Align left, fill vertically. So if I do this, it's still aligned left, but I can do 0, 0, and it will fill to its parent object. Right? So now this is a fill. And if I were to increase the width, there's your health bar, right? I change this to a green color, I guess. To make it full, you would just copy the width over to your fill. I'm just gonna censor this so it's easy to see. Okay, so there's your health bar. Now, you can't see the frame beyond the fill because the fill is blocking the frame. So what we can do is we can add a new component. It's a built-in UI component called outline. Basically, it just adds an outline to the frame because that's what I attached it to. And I can make the outline thicker and make it here. There you go. There's your health bar. Now, because I have an outline that's black, I can change this to white. There's your health bar. It's very easy to do, but now I'm going to go over something that's very important to make your game look really polished, and you saw it a lot in my demo, and that is tweening. Does anyone know what a tweening library is? Okay. Okay. When you move things in Unity, usually you have to do like an update call, like move, transform, overtime, time delta time, stuff like that. Very bad to do if it's not physics-based. So when you're using UI animations, usually there's no physics involved. So you want to use something called a tween. And let me try to get a library assets go really quick. So I use a library called UTween. It's free, anyone can download it. It's the one I prefer to use because that's the first one I used, and I've never had a reason to use anything else. So it's pretty good. A lot of popular games actually use UTween that were built with me. Give it a bit.
I have one quick question. Alright, go for it. So one thing that I run into when I'm trying to make like a menu, a start menu, is that I want like a sound when I click the buttons. But for example, when I click up options and it goes from options menu, it kills the sounds like as it transitions.
So usually when you want to implement sound for UI elements, you have a sound manager object that holds a list of all your sounds.
Oh.
So whenever you use a UI element that gets destroyed or unloaded, you want to have the sound play off of that object instead of your UI.
I think it was okay, gotcha.
Does anyone have any questions right now while we're waiting for this?
If you use something that you pay for from the asset store and put in your project, and then like share the files with GitHub, would other members of the team be able to use it?
For most assets, yes.
Between the licenses, sure.
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure.
You'll have to see. If it's based on per seat basis, then no, it doesn't get shared. But you can still use it either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We have between set up. Now we're gonna make a script. We're gonna go programming a bit. Did you have a question?
No.
Okay. I haven't programmed all this. I apologize. Okay, so to import the library into your script, so that you can move stuff around really easily. You're going to be using dg.tweening. At the start, you're going to need a reference to your rect transform of the fill. So that's what's going to be moving. We want the fill of the health bar to be animated. So we're going to call it fill RT.
Good, yes. Transform is what
I think it's updating my library, so I'm just going to continue. Okay. Let's do public update fill. Void, sorry. We're going to make a public int max health. Do 100, public int health equal to 100 as well. So the maximum fill I think it was 626 units.
Is it a lot harder to do like parts and stuff compared to the health bar? Would you say it's better?
I think parts are actually a lot harder.
Oh really?
Yeah, if you're doing like the Zelda style part system. Okay, so maximum fill is 334, sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna write that down. Private flow max width equal to that. Okay, now update fill. All I need to do is call the fill, and the do-tween library extends rect transform so that you have these options. It's not going to show up because my thing is not done indexing, but you can use do size delta. And I'm going to pass it a new vector 2. I'm going to call its current vector. The x vector 2 is going to be the new fill, right? So the max width multiplied by the percentage. So you want to do current health divided by max health multiplied by the max width. And we need a broadcast there. Okay, so how do-tween normally works is that it usually takes two parameters. The first parameter is always going to be the target, and the second parameter is going to be the time it takes to reach the target. So if my current fill is max, and say I take a hit for 25 damage, I'll go to 75 current health, and my new target would be current health 75 divided by max health, which is 100. So it's 0.75 times your max width. So whatever 0.75 times 634 is, that will be your target. And over 0.3 seconds, your delta will tween to that target. Now I'm gonna make another function called take hit. And I'm gonna do current health minus equals health. And then I'm gonna do update fill. kind of hard not having all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have my thing here. I connect the rect transform variable with my fills rect transform. And my current health is set to 100 and max health set to 100. I'm going to make a UI button. And I'm not going to cover buttons yet, so I'm going to program, or I'm going to link that function I just made with the button. So it's going to call the take10 command. That's how I did it. Basically, drag the object that the script is attached to, and then if it's public function, you can call it through this on-click event manager. So I can push play, and if everything goes correctly, I will push this button, it will lose 10 health, and it will take 0.3 seconds for the health bar to deplete. Right there. So you can hit it 10 times. Yeah, so that's how you make a health bar, and you can do the same thing going up, right? So again, I apologize for like all this red text. It's just my editor being weird. Yeah, and in addition, DoTween has a bunch of other cool do functions. I'm gonna call this the frame. So now I'm gonna get the frame. And every time it takes a hit, I want the health bar to shake.
You're missing the S inside the transformer here.
Okay. So fill RT dot do shake. Now I forgot the parameters of shake, but I'm just gonna go with 50 and 0.3. I think that's gonna work. I forgot the parameters.
That's it.
One second. Oh, do shake position, sorry. I've had autocomplete, my editor or whatever, told me that, but. Camera flow, and pull.
On my desktop? Yeah, I think it does. I think it's literally like other Windows-based things. You just have to use it enough, and then it'll start producing.
Oh, I forgot to
At least
link
that's what
the
you guess.
frame to the rect
Predictive of what
transform.
you've done before.
Push play. I don't know how strong 50 shake is. I don't think it's noticeable at all.
Not very strong.
This will be fun. Oh.
It's so strong. It's over 7 months.
It's so strong.
You guys see that?
Oh, it's
Yeah, there's a bunch of documentation on here about what types of tweens DoTween have, and you can even tween like sound. You can like do fade, and it fades out the music and stuff like that. You can fade in color, so you need to fade in an image, like maybe you're switching scenes. You can fade in an image, just
Gyrate.
so it's like fade out to black, and then unfade it after your new scene is loaded. There's do move, there's do ortho size. If you're having a game with an orthographic camera, you can use DoTween to zoom in with your camera. Do color, you can dynamically change the color. Theoretically, I could change the health bar to red every time it takes a hit and change it back to green, kind of like that. Just more flair to it. Do move X, do jump, do rotate. all the standard moving functions, and it works on all rect transforms and some transforms. So I recommend you guys download YouTube and give it a try. It will make your UI look good, and I expect a health bar that's equally as good as this one in all your games.